Hi, guys, and welcome to the Marc the Shark MMA show. Appreciate you guys watching me here on my Twitch channel. And don't forget, please follow me. If you happen to have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. And also make sure you follow me on my social media accounts, including the Marc the Shark MMA show, YouTube channel, the Marc the Shark MMA show, Facebook channel. My Twitch channel is Marc BJJ Fighter. And my Instagram is Marc_Retorto. And don't forget, it's Marc with a C and not a K. And don't forget to visit the website where you can sign up to be a guest, you can sign up to become a sponsor, or you can shop. Get fabulous hoodies and t-shirts like the one I'm wearing right here. Not too shabby, right? And also you can make a donation. And also don't forget that I also have a podcast that comes out either on IHeart Radio, Stitcher, Podbean, pretty much everywhere. I have a new episode that comes out every Friday or Sunday, depending on how the week goes. And then I'll be here on Twitch every Saturday. So make sure you watch me every single Saturday on this channel. All right, guys. Stay tuned and watch the show and enjoy it. All right, guys. We're back on the show. Today I got special guest and buddy Zane on the line. We're here to talk about last week's UFC. I believe it was 25 with 27. With Joe Benavidez versus Figueroa, whatever his name is, from Brazil. And then also to discuss our fight picks for tonight with UFC, the main card tonight with, what's their name? Style Benavidez. Yeah. So how's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm actually very excited for this fight. I think.
So let's talk about last week's fights first, though. Yeah. So what did you think of last?
I'm actually having a little bit of trouble hearing you, Marc. Kind of blipping in and out. But if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I was talking about what did you think of last week's fight?
Right. So the John Jones fight.
No, not the John Jones. The fight with Joe Benavidez. You see
that fight. I tell you, it was a little bit of a, in my opinion, a little bit of a wild fight.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you. Some people felt that there was, I don't know. Some people felt there was a little bit of controversy during the fight. I wanted to actually ask you about your opinion on that fight. I wanted to kind of get your take on it first.
Oh, you mean the main event between Joe Benavidez and Figueroa?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah, yep. I don't recall there being any controversy. The only real thing was that the guy didn't make weight, so it's no longer. It was supposed to be for the belt, the flyweight title, but since the guy missed weight, they wouldn't give him the belt. I guess that's the rules, which sucks.
Right. So that
he would be the champ, but now he's got to keep fighting and winning in order to get another chance at the title.
Well, that's my thing. I mean, obviously he won, but if he had lost, then it would have been fine for Joe Benavidez. It would have been just another win. But now technically it's not, really a loss. It was just, hey, let's fight. And it was really kind of just a money fight. So I just feel that the UFC maybe should come up with something better. Obviously, he doesn't get his full purse, even though he won. And there's been a lot of fights like this where, all right, we didn't make weight and I won. So they might not get their full purse and they might only get 50% or 50% or whatever it is.
Yeah, see, they usually do have a punishment. Like, I think usually it depends on who weighs first. Like, if the guy who didn't make weight goes first and he doesn't make weight, they usually cancel the fight. To see it now. So I'm assuming in this case, he didn't go first, and that's how they usually come up with that. And then they always usually take a percentage away of the purse. And I guess, they just
they just enforce these rules so that the guys work hard, because it's hard for these guys to cut weight. They go through all that dieting and starving themselves, just try to make weight. So they try to, make sure that everybody's on an even playing field. So
I hear you. I hear you on that, but my take is that they really should have a better system than just, this also gets into some of the politics of it too. You lose some money, I guess, but it's still technically, that person who's winning, they look better. They look better on, in the ranking systems where, people are starting to come to see them now because they won, they gained fans. So, I hate to get into too much of politics, but that part actually annoyed me. As far as a fight, it was a pretty exciting fight. Lots of big punches thrown and kicks and, that sort of thing. Joe Benavidez, I think he looked good. I just think the other guy just had looked bigger and stronger and more put together. What's your take on it?
Well, I just wanted to point out that I haven't seen a card like this in a while. Every single fight did not go to distance in the main card. Grant Dawson versus Derek Minner, that was a submission in the second round in under a minute and 38 seconds. Then you had Megan Anderson, who defeated Norma Dumont by a knockout in the first round in 3 minutes and 31. Then you got Maganoff versus Ian. That was a knockout in the first round in 38 seconds. And then you had Felicia Spencer, who's looking for a title shot after this win, who beat Zara Farron via TKO in the first round. And then, of course, the main event was, I guess, technically a TKO, or they considered a knockout in the second round. I haven't seen a card like that in a while. I mean, I've seen it in Bellator. That was one of the reasons kind of why I like Bellator, because the fights usually go quicker because the people get knocked out. But I think the fight before this, the card before this, the weekend before, there were a lot of decisions. So I thought the card was pretty good. I liked it. There were a lot of – I like it when it's a fast pace and it goes right, to submission or a knockout. Now, let's get back to tonight's fight with what does he call himself? The style bender, right?
Yeah.
And Romero. Now, I don't know if you saw the weigh-ins with Romero with tight jeans on, with practically any space, doing a backflip and landing into a split in their face-off. And that wasn't the weigh-ins. It was I think before the weigh-ins.
Well,
I couldn't believe he just did a split like that without warming up in jeans. Or a backflip. I wasn't even impressed by the backflip. Never mind the split. But, I mean...
Well, they're elite athletes, so, some of them have even more abilities, to do flips and stuff. But when you actually look at them both standing next to each other, Yoel, I actually forget how tall he is. I think he might be under 6 feet.
Yeah, he's under 6 feet, yeah.
Yeah, I think he might be maybe 5'10", 5'11" at most. And then you have, Israel, who's I think he's 6'4".
Yeah.
I think he's at least 6'2". But I know that John Jones is, I think, 6'4".
Mm.
And if they were to fight, I mean, John Jones would have some height on him. But that was even some talk. If he, depending on how he does tonight, if Israel beats Yoel in extraordinary fashion, he's going to try and go up to light heavy, and he wants a shot at John Jones. But he's got to get past Yoel in extraordinary fashion first. Mm-hmm. So I think that I don't think he's going to want to make a mistake tonight and allow Yoel to, land a big knee or a big shot. I think that Yoel's going to have difficulty trying to land that, jumping knee, flying knee kick to the head or even to any part of the body, because I think that Israel doesn't have a style where he tends to shoot low or to be low. I think he fights tall and long, and I think that that's going to that's going to present a problem for Yoel, because I think even Israel is pretty good with the takedown defense. And I don't know how great his jiu-jitsu is, but, he should hopefully he practice getting taken down and defending it, because I think that's all he really has to worry about.
Well, Yoel's also got good hands, too. And one thing I've noticed is that his cardio has improved. Like, he used to get tired out, but then in that last fight,
you're right.
guy, he went the distance with that guy.
Well, he went. I think he went the distance with the ex-champ, Winokur, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now, Winokur, he's the guy that pushes the pace, and that was a hard fight for Winokur, but he won. And then see what Israel did to Whitaker, and I forget what round it was. Was it the third round? Second or third round or something like that?
He's a very unique striker. Like, I don't think he's explosive as Yoel, but I think he's just more accurate, because he's a world champion kickboxer. I don't know if you know that. Prior to becoming an MMA fighter, he was a world champion kickboxer, so his stand-up is just superb. But
right, anybody who fights him better be able to move their head and get inside. But even getting inside, the guy has excellent knees and he has excellent elbows. So and he knows how to get out. He knows how to get out, get space, and keep the right amount of space so he can land his blows. And he doesn't wait. He gets in there. He gets in your face. He doesn't just stay on the outside and wait for you to come in. He wants to get it done. And I think that having them stand next to each other, definitely Yoel's got, a lot more explosive power. But
and he's a genetic
it looked
freak.
like he was going to have a tough time catching him. It was like, he'll jump, and then he might be on the outside, or, he might be catching air. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the airbender should take it. I think because he's younger, he's taller, and he's faster. Like, for me, Joel's just got the experience. I think his advantages are his strength. He is explosive, but it's more like for strength. And obviously,
I actually don't know.
I
know Yoel's a great wrestler, but how is Yoel's jiu-jitsu, though? I mean,
I've never seen him on the ground. He's never had to use it, as far as I can tell.
I have seen him on the ground as far as takedowns, and but it does seem to be that once he gets him on the ground, he wants to punch. So I think that if Israel's going to have any type of danger, it's going to be on the big explosive punches, not really, the setup punches or the setup kicks. I think it's going to be watch the takedown and watch the overhand right. A lot of people try and use that on a taller fighter, and or maybe a big hook or an uppercut. Something that's going to work their way on the inside. But straight rights and jabs, I don't think Yoel's going to be able to catch him. He's going to have to move his head, and he's going to have to kind of brawl him a little bit. Israel has never been really hurt. He's been tired. He's been hit a couple times, but never really in trouble, I would say.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see if Yoel can he's got to hurt him early, because I think that if it goes to round 3, 4, 5, I don't think Yoel's going to have the gas tank for this type of pace.
Yeah, I'm thinking this might just go to the 3rd or 4th round. Personally, I don't know if it's going to go the distance, but we'll find out tonight. And then you get the co-main event with Johanna versus the first ever Chinese world champion in UFC history, Zane.
I'm really excited about this about that fight, the co-main. Yeah. I think that I do not think that Johanna's going to be able to beat her. I think that that the champion has excellent hands, fast, strong. I think Johanna's going to have to try. She is incredibly strong. She's strong everywhere. She's kind of like what's the 125-pound champion? What's her name? I
Uh,
forget her name. The
the
Polish
Russian
girl.
champ. Well, not
She's also Polish.
yeah.
But I forget. Shevchenko.
Yeah. She's
I
actually, I think,
think
built
that,
like her.
I think that those two, that would actually make a great fight. I think that if the champion remains the champion, I would love to see her go up against Shevchenko to bump up eventually, maybe win a few more title fights, and then she might bump up, and that would make a great fight because they're very, very similar. They're strong everywhere, physically, in the pocket, on the outside, leg kicks, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I think I know I'm kind of doing that for you today. I'm looking at these fights, and I'm looking kind of past them a little bit, and I'm looking at the next fight or these future super fights, which I'm looking at. But I really respect the champion. I think that she's going to take it. If Joanna takes it, she's going to have to be laser accurate and quick on the outside, because I think that on the inside, the champion's too strong.
Yeah. But I don't know if you saw her at the weigh-in. She was like talking all kinds of smack to the champ. I don't know if you saw that.
There was a little bit of awkwardness with the champion. I think the champion did not initially want to shake hands, and then Joanna, she did kind of like a weird, like, do you want to shake my hand? And she kind of took it, like, it was kind of weird. But whatever, eventually they just kind of shook hands, and that was it.
Yeah, that might have been a cultural thing, though. Because like in Asia, they don't really shake hands; they bow and stuff. So who knows? That could have been a cultural thing, or maybe she just don't like Joanna. I don't know, but either way, I'm looking for the fight. I'm looking forward to this card, man.
I think it's going to be a great fight. There's a couple other good fights also that I'm just not as familiar with those fighters.
Yeah, you got Benil Darish, who I've seen a few times in the UFC. Great jiu-jitsu guy. He's been around. On the prelim, the head of the prelim card, you got Sean O'Malley, which is that kid that's got that fro haircut from the 70s. Really good, wiry kickboxing type style. So
actually, you know what? I have to apologize, Mark. I think I was getting confused with another card. But yeah, Magny I'm familiar with. Oliveira I'm familiar with. Brunson I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Griffin. Now there's this other guy. What's his name? Jing Lang. Jing Lang. Li Jing Lang.
Yeah,
I'm not too familiar with him.
I'm not too familiar with him either, but yeah, I mean they got a pretty good card. I even like the head. I kind of want to see that Sean O'Malley kid go at it again. He's very entertaining. So, but we'll see. We'll see. It should be interesting. We'll be watching it tonight from Buffalo Wild Wings, so it should be interesting.
Yes, I'm actually going to meet up with you. We'll be able to see each other. We haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah. If it wasn't so noisy, we could film from there. Maybe one day we'll do a live play-by-play from one of the times we get together and watch the UFC.
I enjoy it. Thank you, Mark.
All right, everybody. That's pretty much it. Just give me a second here. If you happen to be watching this on Twitch, pretty much the show's over. But if you listen to it in podcast format, just keep listening. There's more format. There's more content coming.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and hit the alert button so you get updates. And also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This podcast episode is brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. Save 15% with the code Marc the Shark MMA Show, used by all jiu-jitsu and MMA athletes to prevent skin infections. This podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Go to www.audibletrial.com/MMA Show, and you get a free audiobook when you sign up for a 30-day trial. This episode is also brought to you by HostGator. Save 60% on your web hosting needs by using the promo code Mark the Shark MMA Show. Again, save 60% on your web hosting needs with HostGator. This podcast episode is also brought to you by Ritordo Family Books. If you're interested in great books for your children to read, get books by Christina Ritordo. And if you're interested in action, thriller, suspense books, you can get The Cabal, The Saga Begins, or fantasy books like Marcus the Vampire, both written by your host, Marc the Shark Ritordo. Again, go to www.ritortofamilybooks.com. Also, do not forget to go to the Marc the Shark MMA Show podcast website, the shop for our merchandise. We got t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, hats, and even mugs. Anything you can want with the Marc the Shark MMA Show podcast name on it. And also, please do not forget to go to our website where you can make a donation to support the podcast. All you have to do is click on the donation button.
All right, guys. This week's episode is done on a live show. But if you happen to be listening to this in the podcast format, keep listening because there's more content to follow. All right, guys. See you guys next week.